Chapter 2, Episode 2 is about the intensive and extensive properties. So we're going to differentiate these two types of properties. Extensive properties can be affected by the size or the amount of matter. Meanwhile, intensive, that's the opposite. It is not affected by the size or amount of matter. For example, color. So for example, I have here a small piece of gold, and then here I have a bigger piece of gold. What's the color of the small gold? So here it's, of course, it's goldy, or let's say it's yellow something. How about the color of the bigger amount of gold? So it's the same thing. So it's also yellow in color. So from this one, I can say that color is not affected, or it doesn't change given different amount of the substance. So this one is an intensive property. How about the mass? So here I have, let's say, a smaller gold, and then I have a bigger gold for the same thing, but then now what's the mass of the smaller gold? Let's say it's about I don't know the mass, say 50 grams for example. Then this one is bigger, so let's say this one is about 1000 grams. So here we can say that mass changes depending on the size or the amount of the matter. So this one is an extensive property. Now length, so length is also extensive because of course different yung length ng smaller piece of gold sa bigger piece of gold. Then density, this one is again mass over volume. So density is equal to mass over volume. Now this one, even though it's composed of mass over volume, density is this one is a physical intensive property, so it's not affected by the amount or the size of the matter. That's because this is the ratio between the mass over volume of the substance. Again, for example, we have here a water. So this one, the volume of this is, let's say, 1 ml. The mass of 1 ml of water is actually 1 grams. Now let's have a bigger amount of water. Let's say this one, this time the volume is 2 ml. Now the mass of 2 ml of water is 2 grams. Then here we have a bigger amount of water. So here we have 3 ml, yung volume. Then the mass of 3 ml is actually 3 grams. Now again, mass, this one is equal to mass over volume. So mass over volume. Mass over volume. So here again, if we simplify this one, we have 1 gram per ml. That's density for this one. How about for this one? We can simplify this one. So 2 over 2, that's 1 grams per ml. So the same thing for this one, 3 over 3, that's 1 gram per ml. So we can see here that the density of water is the same for any amount, because again, it is the ratio or the quotient between the mass and then the volume of that substance.